Ladies and gentlemen, we have Lawrence with us here. Lawrence's presence is the courtesy of Ruben today, and Lawrence does fashion.
Yes. Hello.
What kind of fashion do you do?
I personally do couture, men's and women's, and I do collection for the retailer stores.
Why do you do that?
Collection gives me the money flow so that I can eat and pay my rent, and my clients give me the exposure I need in their countries to sell.
Okay. How people make money in the fashion world? Yeah, how difficult it is? What's the options there? You just look for the few private wealthy clients, or you just go ready to wear? What's the ways today in today's world?
There's many different ways to make money. I was told a long time ago in different languages by different teachers, if you dress the customer in the limo, you're on the bus. If you dress the woman and man on the bus, you're in the limo because of the volume of money. It depends on how honest you are also with your clients when you make them clothes and what they expect from you, and even with the market and stores.
But why do you do this? You live in New York City. You can be a lawyer. You can be a doctor. You can do anything in the world and you chose this profession. Why?
I personally love change. I can't stand stagnation. Yes, the body's the same, but women get pregnant. Women have their cycles and their body changes. Fashion's always changing, looking for new, different ideas, different looks. And that keeps me on my toes.
Okay. The fashion world is changing nowadays, and there is more acceptance for the different color, skin tones. There is more acceptance for the age. There is more acceptance to the height, weight, plus size. What do you think is the future of the fashion world in the next 5, 10, 20 years? Where is the fashion taking us?
We're going with technology. America is going with wearable technology, where we want to have the keyboard on our sleeves. We want to wear the technology. Europe is using the technology on the garments. I sell in Europe and Asia. I use the European model, where actually this top, this is made
a lot of
from
designers leave the New York Fashion Week. I just saw the Fashion Week like never before. I've been doing this for 7-10 years as a New York Fashion Week, and nowadays all the major firms are leaving, and they stay in Europe. We're commercial, right? We want to make money, and Europe is more about making a statement, making difference.
I'm going to be honest. What I believe, fashion is an Italian and French art and industry.
So
British
we don't have
are
enough
learning.
Italians in America. We don't have enough French.
The large corporations here don't understand how to nurture a designer and make money off of them.
Why not? What's not to understand?
They don't. Something is not. I don't understand. If I knew, I'd open.
How come the Europe keep holding? We attract here the. If we talk about technology, Google and big corporations are here. If we talk about movies. Down in California, in LA, so there are a lot of talented industries that require to be creative, whether it's songwriting or some fashion is also creative art piece, and all of a sudden Europe still hold on to it. What do they do so special that we don't have here? New York, we have infrastructure, we have plenty of money. I can tell you that
the money isn't lacking. The infrastructure kind of is. I teach also, and I am always looking for good sewers to work with me, to teach them how to sew. My sewing team, when I get production, I use 70 and 80-year-old tailors. The younger people don't want to sew. They all want to be stars. And they may want to make one pair of pants and then be a tailor.
Also, my knitting folks are disabled. So
Yeah.
I have quite a few ladies in Brooklyn who can't go to work, and they have some kind of disability, and they can sew and they can do knitting at home. So otherwise, I'll be out of business. I try to use the knitting and sewing facilities in Russia and Ukraine. The quality is not the same. They have the same trade, but there is no. The industry is dying. Basically, those folks. I'm not there anymore.
I know in Italy and France, because I freelance there, the samples are made in house, but with technology that the factories also have in China. Italy and France have partnerships where the Italians and French take their machines, their technology into China, oversee the Chinese with a cheap labor.
I see.
We are caught. And the government throws so much money towards fashion. When you go to a fabric show, like Première Vision in Paris, you're given the color card. You sit in a half-hour presentation of the 14 colors for that season. You leave thinking, "Oh, I want avocado orange,"
Okay.
and you're brainwashed.
You
There's
think that
no.
if China, if other countries choose to step up and fund the fashion, they will have the future. Do you think if New York will, on the government level, just throw money into fashion, it will change things?
A little bit, yes. If China's already throwing money,
Russia, Soviet Union tried
Yeah.
to fund things and it didn't work. The free system kind of
there is
wins.
it's
Trump with much less money won over Hillary with way more money and with little Twitter accounts. So sometimes money is not the factor. Nowadays with the Instagram, you can have account and all those the casting directors and the designers, a lot of them out of work nowadays.
Well, I want to say, when you were talking about Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, the problem I see with it, people don't realize this is to the industry to present the new looks so that they can be photographed in magazines and pulled for movies and pulled for before.
It's live. I'm shooting the Fashion Week, and everybody, like wherever I have my feed, everybody wants the feed now. By the time I get home and edit, it's all sold out. It's gone. They want ready to wear. Once the girl is on the runway, that's when they want to buy it
The
now.
Italians
That
and
moment.
French are not
Off
done
the
that.
runway,
Yeah,
the sale stops.
they have no. See,
It's
Italy
that
and France,
quick.
they have 4 or 5 outfits that you can order at there, and it's delivered to them within 2 months.
Mhm.
The Italians and French are doing it. We were ahead of technology. We're not anymore
I
in the
see.
world.
Huh, interesting.
The Vogue Italia I picked up in September had every designer's outfits that were available online. Vogue Italia is heavily sponsored by the Italian government as well.
Okay.
The U.S. Vogue, 200 pages of what? Advertising.
Do you think it's difficult to apply for the grants for the money for fashion? Do you think the government does not recognize the value in
Here,
It's creates so many jobs. The models, the designers, the magazines. It's something that has to be done here
New
in New York.
alone is $10 billion in the year. $10 billion of runway shows.
So if they put an extra billion in this, it's another 10 billion.
Yes, and those
so
go
it
to
will-
15
it's,
billion. If I had the answer,
okay.
I really wish I could.
Is there a math behind it that could prove your point?
Well, we need to see what happens. Well, Europe, it's working.
So it's
It's
working.
working. Yes, luxury is not selling in this country because we don't have the jobs, we don't have the economy supporting.
The market is all the way on top. Look at things.
For that little bit, for those few. But my
Since
customers.
2008, it's everything is up.
Well, I see the people the women that have the $4,000 or $5,000 Lanvin. That's average everyday bags that they throw around.
Yep.
But when you look out there,
Look at the Park Avenue. Look at the you have
Yes,
to look
but
at the
then-
right
But
place.
then let's go into the U.S. You have to go to Chicago. You have to. DC has a little bit. In Europe, they consume it more. My aunt has
my
that bag.
understanding was, let's say, in Russia, Ukraine, where I come from, for example, the women would dress much nicer than here in States, and the reason for that is because they're looking for a husband. They're looking for to brand themselves and promote themselves. So even if she goes to throw the garbage out, she'll put her makeup, she'll put her heels. God forbid the neighbor will see her. And so in Europe, there is a tradition to look awesome at all times, no matter which day of the week it is. So even at home, they would wear it just to. For those reasons, and here in States the girls can make decent money. They don't have to depend on the guys, so she can look whatever she looks. If she's a computer scientist or she's a doctor, she's a lawyer, she makes plenty of money. She doesn't have to rely on the male part, so there is not that much tradition necessity to show off. in that regard. So they're not doing this. If they're doing something for themselves, so it has to be comfortable, has to be something that pleases her personally, but not so much to be objectified by the sexual as a sexual object. Uh, let's look into the your production. What are you doing nowadays? What are you doing? What's your future?
I'm actually looking into using technology for making better fibers. My collection is a non-carbon footprint, where we take things before they go to landfill. Like I was saying, this top is iron from oil tankers and cement blocks from industry. The technologies used is they break it down, make these fibers that are wearable, so that nothing goes into the, like I said, the landfills. I'm also looking into lighter weight. I'm using non-water dyed prints and fabrics that are dyed,
Okay.
all gas dyed. They're environmentally friendly, but they're not polluting. And I'm also believing in, I'm making sure everything is a fair trade. People that work that make my buttons are not 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and they're not getting paid 10 cents a week.
Okay.
They're getting paid
So
enough.
you have conscious there. So.
Yes, yeah. And I'm also looking into making comfortable, easy to wear clothes that are fashionable and different with using these fabrics. I wish I had brought stuff. I didn't bring anything to the show.
Maybe
But,
next time
yeah.
you bring so
I'll bring
we
suitcases.
can have a show.
I'm trying to make things that
You see, I have
Yeah.
plenty of
Yeah.
suitcases here, so from my collection. So I have the shoes, I have the hats, I have the dress, I have the whole thing. So
I'm actually trying to make very easy to wear, like the wrap dress online using the technologies.
how do you find your clients? How do you sell your fashion?
My high end is word of mouth.
So
You'll
if you
see
move out
somebody-
of New York, you have to start all over.
No, I can live anywhere on the planet. I choose New York because my customers come to New York. They come to shop.
So they go all.
They come to
from
shop
all over
because
the
we're
world?
so cheap,
Okay.
and they all have apartments here. They'll call me up, or I fly to them.
But how do you find? How do they find you? Is that Instagram? It's something that you do. Do you have any special secret that you could share with the audience, like how to?
It's word of mouth. Honestly, it's word of mouth. When somebody wears something to a party, they'll say my name, or they won't say my name, but the picture goes up somewhere. They'll see it on Facebook. They'll see it on Instagram. They'll see it. It shows up somewhere.
Okay, and that picture will make a difference.
Hmm.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence, what's your social media? What's your
Lawrence Pizzi, Pizzi, almost like pizza, or Lawrence Pizzi Collection.
Thank you.